literally rubbing my hands together in excitement to welcome back to the show. You're the first repeat guest I've ever had, Allie.
Oh, that's
So
exciting.
welcome back to the show, Allie Bjerk. If you do not know Allie, you are totally missing out. She is the founder of Tiny Offer, registered trademark method, buyer psychology expert. She's been in digital marketing for a bunch of years now.
Long,
And
long
really,
time.
yes. And honestly, to me, when I think of you, Allie, I think that you help people get off this mentality that they need to start with high ticket and just like build this like really intensely slash really big mountain to climb for a lot of people who are new to business, and instead focus on how can you bring people into your world with like a heck yes tiny offer and
Mhm.
ascend them, right? Get them in your space, get them knowing you, get them seeing what you can deliver, wow them on the front end, and then bring them up to whatever sort of higher value offer you might have in your ecosystem. You are also the owner of the Circuit Sales System, which we have a shorter amount of time than we might usually have today. So I hope we get to talk about that. And if not, there's definitely going to be links in the show notes for you guys to check that out. I think that's the embodiment, if I understand correctly, the embodiment of what I just described. Yes?
Yes. Yep. Exactly.
Okay, awesome. So Allie, I want to talk way less than you today, but I want to tell people why I'm bringing you on again, which is yesterday I was scrolling Instagram and I saw this carousel, which a little bit of a different branding for you. So I didn't recognize it from you right away.
Yeah, that's new. I need to
I love
post more
it.
because it's been around a
Very
couple weeks.
really pops out. And I hooked me in from the first slide. So way to go.
Thank you.
Not only was I hooked in from the first slide, I was like, every slide that I was like clicking, I was like, it was so good. And I wanted to dive into and make this like kind of a case study. So why don't I stop talking? Do you have the slide in front of you? Do you have the carousel?
Yes, I can open it.
Okay, so while you're pulling that up, I'm just going to read the first slide. The hook is this: takeaways from today's VIP session with a business owner who has made 5K in just 6 weeks, working 8 hours a week. That in and of itself was like, it was enough to get me going. But what
Hmm.
I read next was better. So it was almost like the hook that totally paid off. So
Good.
the next slide was basically all about not using a traditional lead magnet funnel. No need for constant content creation. In fact, tell me about tell me about this. I think she's a mom, right? Tell me
Yep.
about your VIP session.
Yeah. So, well, what's funny about this carousel is that I literally took the transcript of our VIP session and I uploaded it to AI and I said, like, pull out the talking points, pull out, like, summarize. Because I
Mhm.
knew all of this stuff too, but like sometimes
Yeah,
AI does such a better job of,
legwork.
like putting it into the slide. So I'm glad that
Yes.
it worked. But basically, that was our conversation. She had booked a VIP day because she wanted to scale her ads. She was stuck at around $400 a day. And with the tiny offer method, the whole thing is like you get out what you put in because it's highly ads based for, a lot of the scaling side of it is like meta ads based. So
Hmm.
she was at this point where she kept wanting to spend more, but her costs would get more expensive. Her ads would
Mm.
kind of, like peter out and wouldn't deliver as well as she wanted to. So that was her original reason for booking a VIP day, is like, help me scale my ads to $1,000 a day, $2,000 a day, which, when you're getting 2 times what you spend on ads back,
It's an
why not,
ATM machine
why not spend more? Right.
for sure.
Yeah.
Um, that is a problem that I've been hearing. I don't know if more and more of, but a
Hmm.
lot, which is like it's profitable at to a certain point, and then when you start spending more, the ROAS goes down. Can
Yeah.
we just like, do you have a quick explanation for why that happens? Is it just, yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's totally normal for that to happen, and I mean it's all relative too. I mean, I think for a lot of people who are spending, $100 a day, $1,000 a day, like the offer should be strong enough to maintain profitability at
Mm,
that rate. For the people who are spending $1 million a month on ads, which there are definitely companies doing that, they're more, it's a little bit harder to break even on the front, and they just have a super solid back end where they know,
mm,
even if they only break even, they're not using their front end necessarily as like a profit maker. But for
right.
a lot of us who want to make profit from low ticket on the front, it's a lot about having lots of different creative, because ads have changed a lot. There was another update called the Andromeda update like a
Yep.
couple weeks ago that changed a lot of things too. So it's a lot more about having, for her, it was having multiple ad sets instead of just trying to scale within one ad set. Another thing that has been around for a while, but I think people forget is that you can't scale too quickly either. You know, you can't go from 200 in one ad set to 400 in that ad set the next day. Like you have to do incremental, like tiny increases each day.
Tiny offers, tiny increases. It's a
Yes. Yeah,
theme.
but that's what's great about
Yeah.
tiny offers is like you can see if you're profitable or not every single day. You know, I can
Yeah.
watch the clock and it's noon and I'm like, okay, I've spent $50. I should have made at least $100 in sales. Like, is are things still working?
Okay. So this gal in particular, was she running ads to, like, tell me what her funnel looked like before you guys started your VIP session?
Yeah, so she shared that she had tried running ads to a lead magnet and that she was getting ridiculously low opt-ins. Like most
Mm,
people would see, I think she was at 69 cents an opt-in, which is bananas low. And she was really excited about it, but then after a few weeks like no one was buying anything else is what she was seeing.
mm,
So she's like, "Yeah, I'm excited about all of the opt-ins, but they're not doing a darn thing once they're in." So
yeah.
that's what she was doing. She had tried some other strategies, like a lot of people will run ads to a reel that has a keyword, like through ManyChat, and then
Yeah.
that shares the page or the the product that they have for sale. But oftentimes it's like too many hoops for people to jump through,
Yeah.
and might get in their inbox, but then they forget or they get
Hmm.
distracted or they change their mind. So what she ended up doing is running ads directly to the sales page for a low ticket product that she had running for $17.
Right. So I thought that was interesting. So originally she had it at 27.
Mm-hmm.
You guys like beta or A/B tested that and saw that the $17 price point seemed to be. Can you, is it relevant to know what her niche is, any of that, or do you think that her results are pretty?
Yeah, well, I think for her it was a really easy it was easy to go to like have those that level of success in a really short period of time because she found a niche that is somewhat underserved. It was like new digital product creators who are stay-at-home moms. So
Mm-hmm.
a lot of the big like industry leaders that we talk to, they want to focus on more established business owners, and she kind of is serving the new person who doesn't even really know online business is an option yet, but she's kind of
Mm-hmm.
educating them and showing them how to create that first product. So it
Got
is
it.
it is definitely a digital marketing online business type
Mm-hmm.
focus.
With a very hyper specific niche. Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So she can target directly, when she sets up her ads, she can say moms who are interested in social media or whatever, just to kind of get in front of the
Oh,
right
okay. I
person.
definitely want to talk about ad targeting because I'm hearing so many things in the direction of with these new updates, don't be or be a lot more broad in your targeting. So I want to get your take on that. Before we do though, so let's just dissect her funnel here for a minute. We've got the main offer that she had started at 27 but doubled conversions when she lowered it to 17.
Yeah. Yep. So just to dig into that a little bit deeper before we go further,
Mhm.
I've always done 27. That was kind of like my
The gold
signature thing
standard. Yeah.
almost. Yes. And then um I just had the idea of like, well, what if I try something different? The economy has changed, whatever. Like, if I'm just kind of testing. So I shifted it to 17 and then my conversions tripled. So then I posted on Instagram and I was like, oh my gosh, you guys, this is crazy. And
Wow.
she saw that post and she did the same thing and saw the same result. So I think
How
it's
interesting.
um it's important to know your niche for sure. Because I have another client, past client, that is her front end is $55 and she's spending I think she's spending close to $7,000 a day on ads, making
Mhm.
15K a day back. So her funnel, I tried changing mine to 55 because I was like, well, why not? And I didn't sell nearly enough to be profitable. So I think you
Oh,
have to know
yeah.
your
Knowing your
avatar, know
niche
what
is
they're willing to
key.
spend.
Wait,
Yep.
or testing it, right, Allie?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. You know, it's
Always.
interesting because I was just having a conversation with a former client of mine. She reached out to me. She's like, "Mariana, we haven't talked in so long. Let's get a coffee chat on the in the books." And she was just launching, I want to say two different low ticket offers that she was going to start running ads to. And I told her because I remembered from you, my friend, at some point you were like, A B test the pricing. Like, don't
Mm-hmm.
assume, just don't go just with one pricing and just it either works or fails. I
Yeah.
remember you did, I think it was on social, like on stories, you were showing us your back end. You're like, look, This one was 7, this one was 17, this one's 27, this one's 47, and the 47 one was doing super well. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it was like you were, it wasn't even necessarily of, I think it was both volume of sales and number of sales, where the price point, one of those price point was like it wasn't the cheapest one too.
Yeah.
So I think that was definitely a lesson learned that I've like now passed on to other people and like
Yeah.
mentioned you by name, because I think that's such a super important. Obviously, it's not the most, you know, innovative thing to do, but it is a very important thing to do, and that we often forget like the most
Yeah,
basic
most
thing.
most people are
So
not doing that from what I've seen. But
correct.
I also keeping in mind like what your average cart value ends up being too. So if you drop the front way down and you attract someone who's not buying anything else in the funnel, then it's like, okay,
Mm,
cool, I'm getting three times the conversions, but I'm making less per day. Because you know, like
right.
if I have a $55 product and I have a $17 product, it takes me three sales of the $17 product to hit what one sale of the $55 product would do.
Totally.
So,
Right.
you know, again, it's some number nerdery and watching that stuff.
Right. And so that's just the start of the funnel, right? And to your point
Yes.
about like keeping them profitable, we've got, going back to your VIP student or client, we've got the odor bump that was $9, which
Hmm.
I love how you said it, converts quote super well.
Yeah.
um the upsell was 27, raised from 17. So that's so interesting. You went lower on the front end, higher on the upsell.
Hmm.
And then an add-on $97 clarity call, which by the way, I took notes on this too. I'm just remembering. I saw this, I was like, oh, that is such a great little
Yeah. And
add-on.
it's so easy to sell.
Right.
I have one
Yes.
of those in my funnel. That's only 47, but I might increase it to 97 after
Yeah.
seeing that. And it's like a value ladder mapping call where I get on a call with somebody and, you know, 20 minutes, I can have their offer mapped out. And
I
it's
love it.
like
Okay,
valuable
so
for
that's,
them.
yeah,
And then it's
that's
a good connection point too.
for sure. Yeah, it's such a good trust builder. And I was
Hmm.
just chatting with someone previously to our call just now who was saying the value of that, right? Like if you can have 20 minutes with somebody that you really admire, who really knows
Yeah.
what they're doing and would otherwise cost a whole lot more to have a 1 hour session with them, if it's even available,
Hmm.
then yeah, that sounds like a no-brainer add-on
Yeah.
that, you know, might be a $97 investment. I think $47 is way too cheap for you.
Yeah.
100%, let's, I would
That's
raise that to 97 yesterday,
right,
but
147 maybe.
all
But
good.
with
I love that idea. And then
yeah.
she had the high ticket $2,400 coaching program,
Hmm.
which you've given us the numbers of how many she sold, and folks are maybe like inquiring in the DMs and all that. Obviously,
Yep,
this is going to
exactly.
change over time. You posted this yesterday. I'm sure the
Yeah.
numbers will grow. But let me just ask you a clarifying question here. The high ticket one, is that part of the funnel, or is that something that people see in emails afterwards, or
It's
how is that coming
something
into the
for
picture?
her, it's something that she talks to people about in the DMs and emails afterwards.
Okay, so walk me through how she's doing that. She's like looking at people who are buying and then reaching out to them on Instagram?
Yeah, and I mean it could be so one thing that I do inside of my digital products and even the welcome email is like, hey, you know, I post the most on Instagram. Go that's where most of my
Yes.
followers come from is they buy, they see the email, then they go follow. Or I
Mhm.
have a little, you know, lesson inside of one of my modules that's like, let's keep in touch, go follow.
Right.
You just tell people to do it, they'll do it
They're
just
already a
because.
buyer, they're already in your email list. Might as
Right.
well get them on Instagram, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, yep, exactly. So her plan right now, you know, she gets people who just kind of follow along naturally. They're curious about what else she does. And then she also has an email sequence that's triggered by the purchase. So it's like, hey, if you
Mhm.
want more support or if you want to learn more about how I work with people directly, I think she sells it. I think she's doing calls to sell that right now. So she'll, in the email, she's offering a call or just chatting with people in the DMs.
Okay, so does she know who on Instagram are buyers from this funnel, or just randomly DMs?
I think probably random.
Okay. Okay.
Maybe
And
that's
then
more of like just a blanket strategy. I mean, she does. I'm sure she would sell it to other people who didn't just buy her low ticket thing.
correct. Right. I'm just curious, like as part of the funnel, is that like an integral part of the funnel, or is that just part of her sales, I guess?
I think it's just part of like it's so new for her right now that that's kind of just an offer. It's one-on-one coaching too. So
Oh,
ultimately,
wow.
she'd like
Yeah.
to shift that into group coaching and also have it
Right.
come from an evergreen webinar, I think is what she's working on launching.
Mhm.
So, I mean, she's
Sweet.
evolving it over time. But right now, she's selling one-on-one coaching on her Instagram.
Got it. And then just another quick question, because you mentioned she also sells the call in like in emails in the sort of follow-up sequence, I guess, or nurture. I guess they're buyers. What is that
Yeah.
called? Just like the
Right.
sequence that happens after you buy.
Yeah.
Is she offering at the same price point, the clarity call? Do you know?
I assume it's free because it doesn't really have a, she's not like delivering a strategy call. It's more like
Right.
you're booking this because you want to join the program.
Because you're curious. Yes. Okay. So it's a sales call. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Exactly.
Whatever you want to call it.
Yep. Right.
Ultimately, it's a
So,
sales call.
connection call,
Love it.
strategy call.
Okay. And then here you've got a bit more of a breakdown. This carousel's so freaking packed with goodies. Engagement video ads plus cold traffic,
Mm-hmm.
broad targeting ads, arrow to plus retargeting, and then tiny offer page. So break that down for me if you can. So engagement video ads, are these visibility ads? Same thing? Or is that
Yeah.
different?
So she's
Okay.
got reels that she created on her organic page that she's, it's kind of what we might consider like boosting, but
Mm-hmm.
she's set up the campaign through Ads
Right.
Manager
Yes.
directly. So she has a
Mm-hmm.
little more control over targeting, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So she has really engaging. There's no call to action, nothing really on those. It's really just trust building. I think she's spending about $5 a day on those
Got it. One of those.
every
Okay.
day. Yeah,
So
super small.
yes. So that because that's really interesting. I'd love to know the ad spend on this. So is that the only thing she's running to this funnel? Or no?
No, so she's got ads that also go
Retargeting.
cold traffic. Yep, the cold traffic broad targeting ads are kind of running
Understood.
parallel. So
Mm,
I think
got it.
one thing about the update that Meta recently did is that it kind of creates the buyer journey for you where
Mhm.
it'll, instead of, we used to have to do a lot more retargeting
Yeah.
different levels, kind of like, okay, someone's going to watch our video. And only once they've watched the video, then we show them the ads. But Meta, if you just leave things open, I think they're doing a really good job of kind
Yeah.
of cycling people through that process.
I have definitely heard that. In fact, I saved a reel yesterday that was somebody being like, "I've been testing this for a couple weeks and now I'm like very confident that this is happening and I'm
Yeah.
going to share it." And then people in the comments were like, "Yes, this is happening. Like I'm doing the same
Mm,
thing." And I'm pretty sure not to like completely derail from this because I want to go right back to this, but I'm pretty sure what they were doing was one ad set with a ton of creatives. Does that sound
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But the other thing is like
Broad targeting also.
what's what I'm seeing a lot of is almost that ad accounts kind of have their own personalities a little bit. So like some that works really well. Other ones like this particular client, I prescribed the 111 strategy where it's like one campaign, one ad or one ad set and then one ad. And then she
Wow.
can scale by having multiple campaigns instead
Mm,
of because she is kind of plateauing her ad spend. So we were
right.
trying to figure out, one thing they talk about with ads is like horizontal scaling or vertical scaling.
Mhm. Mhm.
So for her, it was like, can we get your ad spend up by having lots of campaigns? Because that
Right.
one campaign was just like wasn't having it, would not let
Interesting.
her get
And then
past
every
$400.
time she scaled, the ROAS would go down, so she would, like, go back down in the spending,
Yeah.
and it would go
Yep.
back up. Ah, that's
Exactly.
so interesting, fascinating.
Yeah.
Okay, my friend, so engagement video ads, quick we're going through this list. Engagement video ads, cold traffic, broad targeting ads. So we'll get to that in a second, then we'll get
Yep.
to retargeting and the tiny offer page. Engagement video ads, before we move forward, so you're saying $5 a day, and was there anything about that video I was just studying this recently where should be so tell me if this was similar. Should be face to camera, should be like trust build or like catchy, obviously a good hook, catchy, but also making people like I thought it was so interesting. This gal said, "Your face is the scroll stopper." I was like, okay, that's an interesting way to put it. And
I
was
like
there
that.
anything in particular? I guess what I'm trying to ask is, was there a mini chat automation on the back end, or was there like a follow for more call to action? What did that look like? Do you
I
know?
don't think so. I think it was purely like just visibility, like just
And
getting
was it
in
like a
front of
big value
people.
add? Was it a post that a reel that had done really well organically that she was basically boosting?
I think it was a value add in that for her audience, like she was proving something was possible that maybe they hadn't seen before. So it was like kind of a
Okay.
status, mind blowing
Perspective
type.
shifting. Yeah.
Yeah, like how I made $2 million. She has another business too. And that's another reason she was able to do this so quickly is because she has a not like online business.
Mm-hmm.
So she was able to share some of her results from that business as her big hook.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Hmm.
Huh. And all right, so we've talked about that. Talk to me about the cold traffic broad targeting ads. Is that the 111 strategy that you were talking about?
Well, what she was starting with was she had one campaign, one ad set, and then, probably like 10 ads in that ad set.
Mm-hmm.
And she was using broad targeting with that. So she wasn't, we used to get in there and be like, only show this to women between, 25
Yeah.
and 50 and make
Right.
sure they
So
like
how broad
Chelsea
is
Brunson
broad,
and Amy.
Allie? Like what's
Nothing.
your definition
I
of broad?
put nothing in there for broad targeting
Stop.
now. Yeah.
So
So I have.
it's basically no targeting.
Yes, yeah, and even a few years ago, I had clients that like accidentally did this, and their ads performed really well. But it was kind
Interesting.
of a more of a like one-off experience than like every time. But yeah, I just leave it wide open, and I let Meta figure it out.
And are we selecting Advantage Plus or
Yeah.
yes,
So
okay.
I used to say like, don't let Meta do anything on your account. You take control, and now it's.
Things change. Yeah.
Yes, I feel like their AI has gotten so intelligent that it's a lot easier to find the
Mm-hmm.
right people. Like for example, I shared this in my coaching program the other week. I clicked on an ad for like a hooded sleeveless long vest because I'm in Minnesota and it's about to get really cold. And I was like, oh, that looks really nice. It's like the sleeveless vest thing. And I clicked on it and then I was like, okay, well, I'll think about it. And I went back to
Oh my
Instagram
gosh. I
scrolling.
can't imagine what you were
Every
flooded with.
ad for the next, not even just like clothing brands, but specifically sleeveless hooded
Oh,
vests from like
interesting.
all these different boutique brands online. So not only does Meta know that like, oh, she's shopping, but they're like, oh, she's shopping for this specific
Mm-hmm.
product from a boutique from, like they
Yeah.
knew that. So something
Interesting.
that I learned why Advantage Plus is working so well is that Meta's AI is basically adding tags to us all the time
Mm.
and adding tags to our ads and what we're saying in our copy and what our images look like. And somebody had, I think it was Rachel Miller who was teaching this. Anyways, she said she had logged in one time and Meta was like half broken where the tags were showing and
Stop.
she was like, wait a minute. It
What?
was like dog looks to be an older dog. Like it had these
Wow,
super
so
specific
specific.
tags. Yeah. So if you're shopping for dog food and Meta thinks that you might be shopping for, an older dog food, it's going to show you brands or
Senior dog.
products or things
Yeah.
related to your senior dog. So that's one
Wild.
reason why Advantage Plus is working so well is because if you say in your headline like a certain keyword, it's going to go search all the related keywords that other people have been looking for that are like that. So it's kind of just like matching,
Right.
um,
It's
like
doing the heavy lifting for you
yeah,
and
the
being
messaging
smarter
is
than
the targeting these
right.
days.
Messaging. And I've heard also like calling out your people or making sure it's very clear who you're talking to.
Yeah.
And then obviously in the creative as well, being very specific about that. Right.
Hmm. Yep.
Okay.
Exactly.
So tell me again. So cold traffic broad. So we talked about broad targeting, aka zero targeting,
Yeah.
and then is there something else? So was she doing the 111, or how did you guys structure that part of
That's
it?
what she's shifting into now.
Got it.
And I sent her a Vox earlier and I was like, hey, checking in, how's it going? And she said that she set up two more campaigns in that 1-1 method, and they were all at least at 1.5 times ROAS. So
Nice. Okay.
profitable on day one, which is what is always
Oh,
my
I
goal.
love it. Oh, well, that's such a good tagline, by the way. I
I know,
hope you're using that. Wait, what?
it's my book title.
Stop. That's
So
right. Oh my
at
gosh.
some
Okay.
point, if I can ever get
TK,
my
TK.
act together. Yes, yes, someday.
Retargeting. Tell me about that.
So then she has a campaign that is separate from the broad targeting. It's its own campaign, and the only job of that campaign is to get back in front of people who maybe peeked at the page and didn't buy.
Okay. That's something I have not dipped my toes into yet, Allie.
Mm,
Is that
missing
just
out.
a setting? It's coming. It's coming
Yeah.
like literally like
Right.
next week, but
Yeah.
is that just a setting on the back end that sounds
Yep.
like?
Yep.
Okay.
So you go into I think it's custom audiences on, so you go into your audiences setting, and
Mhm.
it's the top option, which I think is custom audiences. So you go in and you can select who you want to show the ad to, and you can use your exact URL of the page. And that could
Right.
be what you're retargeting, like if you have a sales page URL, or you could also do, if you say you want to retarget any of your followers or anyone who's liked something that you've posted either on Facebook or Instagram,
Right.
like you can create all sorts
Right.
of different retargeting audiences, but it's
So
worth it.
lookalike audiences, are they still as hot as they used to be?
For some audiences, yes, or for some accounts, I should say.
Mhm.
Like I have a private client who's a she helps SLPs, or
Mhm.
speech language pathologists, and she has a heck of a time with targeting because there's not like one
Right.
interest tag that's related and available on Meta. So she does use a lot of lookalike audiences, and I think they do
Yeah.
pretty well for her. But other
Okay.
people, like when I use lookalike audiences, it's terrible. I
Interesting.
don't get any
You're always
results.
testing, right? Though, right, could work for you,
Yes.
could
Yeah,
maybe
true.
not. Okay.
Yep.
And then those lead to the tiny offer page. So you're
Hmm.
basically getting people who've seen your engagement video, your video,
Yep.
that's just running on a low, very low budget
Yep.
visibility situation. And then you're getting that cold traffic targeting ad. So is that ad also leading to the funnel, I'm guessing, but then you're also throwing retargeting on top of it.
Yeah. So the I mean the bulk of her traffic is coming from the broad targeting campaigns
Okay.
to directly to the sales page. I would say the
Mhm.
it's not like they have to see the visibility ads or the like
Correct. Those are
the
just
video
working at the same time.
impressions. Yeah. Yep. Because if you've also, ever clicked on an ad from someone and then they're like following you around forever, that kind of has that effect where if
Mhm.
Meta sees that, oh, they looked at a page of hers or they clicked on this cold traffic ad, well, now they might see all these video ads just almost like no like trust in reverse. Like they didn't know
Right.
you and they clicked, and now the videos are like building
Right.
trust. And then the retargeting is like, oh, hey, come back. And then they click.
In terms of like efficiency in her specific case of those cold traffic broad targeting ads and the retargeting, you're measuring efficiency of each, I'm guessing. Like, is there one that's outperforming the other
Yeah, I mean, I think what I'm measuring most is return on ad spend. So if I
across the board?
see, yeah, I mean, minus, I mean, she could probably do with or without the video ads, to be honest. But at
Sure.
$5 a day, it's kind of
Yeah.
like not really hurting anything to have them on. But if someone was like, I can only set up one campaign, it's all I can mentally handle, then I would do cold traffic broad targeting directly to the sales page, and then
Mhm.
add on retargeting later, or the video ads
Right.
later.
That's the core one. That's the biggest driver. And
Yes,
then the visibility one and the retargeting one are add-ons
kind of
basically to
icing
the
on the cake.
system.
Yep, yep,
Yeah. Oh my
exactly.
gosh, that makes total sense. Clicking on to the next slide to see what questions I have about the next one. Here's what I should have started with this. Rockstar homeschooling mama 3. Like this is the human behind all of this, right?
Yeah.
Homeschooling mama 3, all under 8. She's got a team, it sounds like, who's handling a bit of that execution. She's focusing, as you said, on strategy, content creation, and efficiency. Three exclamation points,
Hmm.
which I love. That's not chat, that's Allie.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Films courses in pieces over several days and weeks, only works 8 hours a week, which that's very understandable, especially with homeschool kids that are super young.
Yeah.
So I love this. I love that it's, something that, okay, hold on. I love it. Moving on. Launch multiple ad campaigns, breaking through 400 a day. So this is what you were talking about before, right? So she started at $400 a day. She couldn't scale past that. So she's like, Allie, help me. This is
Yeah.
breaking every time I scale.
Yep.
And what would you say? Okay, so I understand what she has now. What would you say was the piece that you like? from A to B. So she came in with just one campaign running at 400, and
Yep.
you're like, okay, we're actually going to split this up into different campaigns, and
Hmm.
also the retargeting piece of it, the visibility piece, which is a bit minor, but
Well, she had the visibility and the retargeting going
oh, I
already.
see.
So
Okay.
I think the easiest thing for me to suggest for her was that she would go in, and every day it was like, okay, today I'm starting at, or I was at 400 yesterday, today I'm going to push it to 500. And then that wouldn't work, and she'd go in and edit the ad spend down to 400 again. And then it was like the
Like playing
algorithm.
the stock market.
Yes, but the algorithm gets super fussy when you're like messing with it too much. Like when
Hmm.
you're poking it, it just wants it dialed in. Like it wants the whatever. I don't know. I
Consistency.
don't know
Yeah.
how it works, but but it works best when it can just kind of like plug along and find your
Hmm.
people and optimize and continue doing it. When it's almost like you're resetting its knowledge of who you're trying to get after
Totally.
every time you like
Tweak it.
drastically change the budget.
Mm,
More than like 20% every 72 hours is kind of the benchmark.
right. The benchmark. Got it. And so what you guys did was you filled the gap, you added that middle tier product. So you helped her with her funnel sequence, it sounds like, as well, just like
I mean,
mapping out her
we ended
funnel a
up
bit better.
talking about that. Like we probably spent it was a 90-minute call. So the first probably 30 minutes we were talking about ads. And the biggest shift was just continuing to scale by adding campaigns instead of trying to like
Mm-hmm.
squeeze as much juice as you could from one campaign. Like you could
Mm-hmm.
have two campaigns targeting the exact same audience pretty much and double your ad spend just because you duplicated the campaign.
The exact same creatives and copies and everything, just in a
Yeah,
different campaign.
yep, especially
Wow.
at a lower budget. I mean, 400 is all relative because some people
Sure.
listening might be
For
like,
sure.
I can't spend more than $20 a day. But when Meta is dealing with the Coca Colas and the Nikes of the world who are spending $1 million a day, it's like
Yeah.
you're not going to burn out your audience at just doubling
Right.
through the campaign duplication.
Mm-hmm. How many ad creatives was she doing at once, or is she doing?
Well, I think she had 10 in there, which was the other thing is I suggested only having about 3 or 4 different ads inside of, well, for her it was like just keep the best performing ad in your best performing ad set. It's kind of like
Mm-hmm.
a nesting doll where you've got your campaign, your ad set, and your ad.
Mm-hmm.
And for her it was like don't touch it, don't even look at it, like just let it run. And then we're going to test other things and other campaigns to try to get that ad spend up. It's
Got
like
it.
do you remember that video that was like viral for a while ago where it was like a guy who was cooking and he was like putting things into the pot and then it like exploded into fire. And I always think about that when it comes to
Yeah.
ads is like, you're like
Don't
kind of
touch it.
right. Like sometimes if you put too much into it too fast, like it just freaks out and you won't get any sales. And
Right.
I
But
see that a lot.
it's such a
Like,
delicate
don't touch
little
it.
animal, isn't it? Like
Yeah. Yeah, it can
it
be.
will
So
get finicky with too
at
much.
least if you can duplicate into different campaigns, then it's kind of like let's just let this little sleeping bear like stay over here and let it keep working, and then we'll test around. The other thing that I had her do that I don't think I even said in the carousel is having kind of like a sandbox campaign for testing too. So one campaign at a fairly low budget, maybe $50 a day, and that campaign's only job is for her to like put new creative into and
Oh,
see
how
how it
interesting.
does. And then when she finds another winner or finds a campaign or a creative that does really well, then she can take that and add it to the all the other campaigns just to kind of keep things fresh.
Love it. And it sounds like, I mean, because it's broad targeting, you just have one ad set inside each campaign, right? Are you doing
Yeah,
multiple? Okay. So one ad
yeah,
set
and
because
for
it's
her, that's what we're
yeah.
testing. Some people might be able to have multiple ad sets and not get stuck or plateaued.
Mhm. So, Allie, this has been fantastic. I'm so excited to like keep tabs on you, and I want to send people to Circuit Sales System. I'm getting it
Yeah.
right.
Yes.
And
Yep.
to your world, how can they connect with you? This was like a freaking masterclass in what's working right now. Obviously,
Thank you.
it's not across the board that it's going to be profitable and working like crazy for everybody in, B2B biz dev niche, but
Yeah.
But I love hearing stories like this because this is kind of where I'm at, and I'm like, okay, this is cool. This
Yeah, let's dig.
resonates with what I've been hearing, but just like the way it was presented in this one carousel, which we'll obviously link in the show notes.
Mhm.
Follow Allie from there. We were just talking about a massive episode or podcast that she's going to be featured on, which I'm super excited about. But Allie, where should people go from here?
So I hang out on Instagram the most. It's just Allie Bjerk, which is ALLIEBJERK. And my website is the same thing. So alliebjerk.com.
Sweet. And I'm sure we've got a bunch of other fun links on your Instagram as well.
Oh,
Thank you
yes.
so much for jumping on at a moment's
Yeah.
notice to
Yeah.
break
My
this down
pleasure.
for me. Such a treat. I'm so excited that I'm going to share this episode. This episode, let's see, is going live probably 2 weeks from now, which is such a weird thing to say while I'm recording. So I
Right.
don't usually do that. But
Yeah.
it should be around like early November when you're hearing this. And the link to that carousel again will be in the show notes. And thank you so much, Allie. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. Everyone, thank you for tuning in. I'm not going to send you anywhere else but to Allie's world today. And so make sure to connect with her. And I'll see you on the next episode of Empire Secrets. Bye for now.
Bye.